Pocatello, Idaho, a small city at the foot of the Rockies. Population 50,000. The kind of place where everyone knows your name, and where a 16-year-old girl thought she was safe spending the weekend at her aunt's house. Her name was Cassie Jo Stoddart. She was 16 years old. She got good grades. She was kind. She was loved. And on September 22nd, 2006, she was murdered by two people she called her friends.
The time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends. And they are right in that house just down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour. But
we checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors, so it's all unlocked. Now we just gotta wait. And yeah, we're really nervous right now, but you know, we're ready.
We're listening to the greatest rock band ever.
We've waited for this for a long time.
Pink Floyd. Before we commit the ultimate crime of murder.
We waited for this for a long time.
A long time.
Cassie Jo Stoddart was born December 21st, 1989 in Pocatello, Idaho. By every account, she was the kind of teenager who made the people around her feel good just by being there. Her art teacher later said she wasn't the best artist. She was just Cassie. That sentence tells you everything. She had a boyfriend, Matt Beckham, a close circle of friends. She was one of those people who seemed to collect love everywhere she went. But in the small ecosystem of Pocatello High School, two boys were watching. Brian Draper and Torey Adamcik were both 16 years old. On the surface, normal, sons of good families. But beneath that surface, something had curdled. They were obsessed with horror films, particularly Scream, the 1996 slasher where two teenagers murder their classmate and film themselves doing it. Draper and Adamcik didn't just watch the movie, they decided to recreate it. They started a death list, 12 names, classmates, friends, people who had no idea they were being selected. Cassie Jo Stoddart was near the top of that list, not because she had wronged them, not because of anything she had done, simply because she would be alone.
Yep. People will die. Memories will fade.
Memories will fade. I wonder what movie you got that from, Brian.
Myself. That was myself.
No wonder it was so lame.
Okay, we're on our way, and I'll let you stay tuned. We're almost there. Dixon's house. It's clear out there in the pasture. We've already snooped around her house a couple times. She's not home, so we're gonna go to that church over there, and we're gonna call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt. They're our friends, but we have to make sacrifices, so. I feel tonight it is the night, and I feel really weird.
The morning of September 22nd, 2006, was an ordinary Friday. Cassie waved to a camera at her school locker. She had no idea it would be the last footage ever taken of her alive. After school, Cassie's mother Anna drove her and Matt Beckham to her aunt and uncle's house on Whispering Cliffs Drive, a remote property on the edge of town. They were pet sitting for the weekend. The plan was simple: watch movies, take care of the animals, stay out of trouble. Draper and Adamcik showed up that evening. They watched part of Kill Bill Volume 2 with Cassie and Matt. They acted normal, but Draper slipped away at one point, claiming to use the bathroom. Instead, he went to the basement and unlocked the back door. Draper and Adamcik returned. They entered through the basement door they had unlocked hours earlier. They cut the power from the circuit breaker, plunging the house into total darkness. Then they waited. They hoped Cassie would come downstairs to investigate. She didn't, so they went to her. What followed was brutal. Cassie Jo Stoddart was stabbed approximately 30 times. 12 of those wounds were potentially fatal. Forensic pathologist Dr. Charles Garrison later testified that most of the fatal wounds struck the right ventricle of her heart. She fought. She fought hard, but she was alone. The killers fled. They drove to a remote area called Black Rock Canyon, several miles outside Pocatello, and buried the evidence. 2 knives, a red and white mask, latex gloves, and a videotape. In their car, they filmed themselves. Brian Draper said to the camera, "We just killed Cassie. This is not a joke. I stabbed her in the throat and saw her lifeless body." 2 days later, September 24th, 2006, Cassie's aunt and uncle returned home. It was her 13-year-old cousin who found her. The responding officers said the scene was unlike anything they had encountered. Idaho State Police Lieutenant Robert Rausch arrived to what he would later describe as a nightmare. Cassie Jo Stoddart was on the floor of the living room, covered in blood. She had been there for 2 days. Investigators moved fast. They pieced together Cassie's last hours. 3 people had been at the house that night: Matt Beckham, Brian Draper, and Torey Adamcik. Matt passed a polygraph. The attention turned to the other 2. When detectives asked Draper and Adamcik about their alibi, they claimed they had gone to see a movie. When pressed on the plot, the actors, any detail at all, they couldn't answer a single question. Within 5 days, the investigation unraveled everything. Brian Draper led police to Black Rock Canyon. Buried in the dirt, 2 dagger-style knives, a red and white mask, latex gloves, and the tape. The tape showed everything: planning footage, pre-murder confessions to the camera, and post-murder reactions so cold, so detached, that the jury sat in silence when it was played in court.
So if my parents are like, no, you can't do that. It's not my parents' choice. It's mine. Say, fuck them, and then just do it. And if they try and sue you, you use the state for your backup. So yeah, they can't do that.
Yep. I hear you. I'm the same way. Okay.
Scenario C.
How about Matt arrives?
Adamcik and Draper were tried as adults in separate trials in 2007. Both were convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Both were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Adamcik has maintained he played no direct role in the stabbing. In a 2015 court appearance, he said he never wanted it to happen and wanted to apologize to Cassie's family. The court was unconvinced. Draper, in a 2021 phone interview, reflected on what drove him. He said he felt like a nobody, that he thought he would be somebody if he did something big and bad. Cassie Jo Stoddart was buried on October 1st, 2006. 500 people attended her funeral. She was 16 years old. Her mother, Anna Stoddart, spent years advocating for justice. She died in 2022 from cancer. Before she died, she told Dateline that the way Cassie was taken from them just wasn't fair. Every autumn since her death, the Stoddart family has run Pumpkins for Cassie, a community donation drive supporting the Pocatello Animal Shelter and the Idaho Food Bank. Anyone who donates gets a pumpkin. Cassie Jo Stoddart was not a horror film character. She was a real girl with a real life, real plans, real people who loved her. And she was taken not by a monster from the dark, but by 2 boys who thought real life was something you could script. It wasn't, and it never